simple example of this is that a loud sound is more sonorous than a quiet sound, which is less sonorous. So sonorous is not just about loudness, it is about the energy involved in production of that particular sound, right? I'm just going to put this on the slideshow. I hope the slides are moving. Okay. So the sounds that are made with a lot of airflow from the lungs and with the vocal folds vibrating are known as the sonorous sounds. Yesterday I told you that you can feel that vibration uh, on the Adam's apple. Sounds which have a lesser airflow, do not produce any kind of voicing, are less sonorous. So how do we classify the speech sounds? The speech sounds are grouped on the basis of sonority and articulation. So, what are the two basic parameters that determine the kind of sounds that are being produced? One is the acoustic energy or the sonority, and the second one is the articulation. So, based on this, we have three categories of sounds. Usually, you are given to the understanding that we have the consonant and the vowel sounds, but there is also a third category of glides, right? Because these glides, again, when ma'am will expand upon this, are the ones which are tricky when you are doing your phonetic transcription. कई बार हमें लगता है कि ये र का साउंड ट्रांसक्राइब होना चाहिए था, बट र का साउंड नहीं आया उसमें. उसका कारण क्या है? बिकॉज दैट पर्टिकुलर वर्ड, दिस द साउंड वाज neither a vowel nor a consonant but a glide. So how many categories of sounds do we have? We have three categories: vowels, consonants, and glides. How are the vowel sounds? Slide is not moving. Okay, let me just check. The vowel sounds are, just a minute. Is it moving now? Is it moving now? A minute. Were the slides moving for all? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Just a second then. I need to put this, close this, and I'm just going to open it. But why should this not be? I think it should. Okay. I'm going back to the mode that I had adopted earlier. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's what I was talking about, that these are the three categories, broad categories. So how are the vowel sounds produced? The vowel sounds are produced with the vocal tract quite open and usually with the vocal folds vibrating. What are the vocal folds? They are the same as the vocal cords that we discussed yesterday. So the vowels have a lot of acoustic energy. They are sonorous, and these sounds can go up to a very long time. For example, when you are singing, you can hold on a note, and what you're holding actually is a vowel, right? So I'm quite sure that you all are quite fond of listening music. सो वो A.R. रहमान जो गाते हैं, या श्रेया घोषाल जो गाती है, या कोई और सतिंदर सरताज जो गाता है, राइट? सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? दिस इज द डिफरेंस इन द क्वालिटी ऑफ देयर साउंड, एंड ऑल्सो how well are they holding on to the note while they are producing these vowel sounds, right? So the vowel sounds, you can hold them for a long time. Have a look at the vowel sounds: a, e, oo. So when you are making such sounds, you can hold them for a long time. But in contrast to this, the consonant sounds won't be held for a longer time. So, by now you know that the vowel sounds are produced within the tract area, and these are usually produced by the vibration of the vocal cords. A lot of acoustic energy makes them sonorous, and you can hold them for a long time. Now let's just talk about the consonant sounds. Now the consonant sounds are the one that we use our articulators to obstruct the vocal cord either partially or completely. So whenever the vocal tract gets obstructed, जो air flow है, aggression, pulmonic aggression हो रही है, वो या तो एयर जो लंग से आ रही है वो भी कम होएगी, ठीक है, लेस सोनोरस होएंगे, दे आर शॉर्टर देन द वॉवल्स. सो प्लीज, if you get a question, how do you differentiate the consonant sounds from the vowel sounds, whatever I'm talking today is going to help you, right? So the air gets obstructed and these sounds that are produced are less sonorous, shorter in length than the vowels. The consonant sound, in contrast to the vowel sounds which are voiced, can be either voiced or voiceless. So there is, in between the two, the consonant and the vowel sounds, you have an intermediary category which is labeled as glides. Now, what happens in the case of glides is that they either have the properties of vowels or the property of the consonants. So the vocal tract in the case of glides is unobstructed like the vowels, and they are shorter and less sonorous than the vowel. So क्या है, इसकी mixed property है of the vowel and the consonant sounds, and therefore these are referred to as glides. So by now you know that the speech sounds can be categorized and classified into the vowels and consonants, along with the third category, intermediating category, which is the glides. So the sounds which are regarded as vowels are described in terms of their articulation and on the basis of the auditory perception. Yesterday you were again acquainted with the auditory phonetics, and you were also given some pictures to recognize, right? So the consonants are best described in terms of their articulation. Now, when on the third day we are going to talk about the consonants, you will be familiarized with the area in which that particular consonant sound is articulated, right? So usually अब एक बात जो you have to understand, because we now have to move on to the IPA. IPA, anyone who can tell me the full form of IPA?
Ma'am, International Phonetic Alphabet.
Very good. International Phonetic Alphabet. अब ये अल्फाबेट तो हम भी पढ़ते आ रहे हैं, ये इंटरनेशनल आईपीए की क्या जरूरत पड़ेगी, राइट? Now, what is IPA? IPA basically, you know, depending is actually the alphabets or this based on the speech sounds, right? So orthographically जो हम लिखते हैं उसमें हम कहते हैं कितने alphabets होते हैं? How many alphabets in English language? How many vowels?
26.
How many vowels?
5.
Okay.
5.
We have 5 vowels. Please remember this, क्योंकि मैम ने अभी आपको नेक्स्ट आईपीए जब करवाएंगे ना तो उसमें एडिशन होने वाली है कुछ, ठीक है? So there are 5 vowels and we have 26 alphabets in all. But when you start studying the classification of sound by the categories of the consonant and the vowel sounds, you will get to know that there is a set of monophthongs and there is a set of diphthongs in the vowels, and all in all, you know, it is more than 26. I'm not going to give you the count because अगर किसी ने पढ़ लिया तो उसको पता है कितने साउंड्स हैं, स्पीच साउंड्स कितने होते हैं? How many speech sound? So, anyways, so you usually know that this is the representation of the vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, U, right? But again, you will get to know more when we hold the session on monophthongs and diphthongs, which are within the vowel category. So a few definitions for the consonant speech sound, as per the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, that consonant is a speech sound produced by completely or partly stopping the air being breathed out through the mouth. Another definition, as per the Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary, is consonant is a speech sound which is pronounced by stopping the air from flowing easily through the mouth, especially by closing the lips or touching the teeth with the tongue. So, English consonants are described in the International Phonetic Alphabets based on three categories. What are these? Voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. What are we talking about? We are talking about the consonants which, according to the IPA, are categorized or identified on the basis of voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. So, what is this voicing? I think I have already explained this to you. This is just a repetition. The aspects of voicing, the voice consonants are those which are created when there is a vibration in the vocal cords during the production. And the voiceless are those which are created in the absence of a vibration of the vocal cords in the speech production. So the phonetic chart, I'm not sharing the phonetic chart because Dr. Hira is going to share the phonetic chart. I have already shared the phonetic chart with you earlier. Rupinder might have, passed it on to you. I think it was almost 4 or 5 weeks ago that I shared, and one I shared recently also. So there you will see that the symbols are appearing in pairs, and the one to the right side are representing a voiced consonant. Again, in the IPA, you will find the whole thing spread out as per the place of articulation, because it is referring to the places from where the airstream from the lungs or the sound stream from the larynx is getting constricted by the articulators. So the manner of articulation, again, will be expanded upon in tomorrow's and day after sessions, where you will get to know how the airstream from the lungs is getting directed to the mouth or is getting modified by various structures to produce a consonant phoneme. Based on the manner of articulation, you have such names as plosives, and you will read about them more and know about them more in the sessions that Dr. Hira is going to take. So these are a few sounds: p, b, t, d, k, g. There is a category of nasal sounds. हम कई बार बोलते हैं ना कि नाक में कुछ शब्द बोलते हैं, तो कैसे कॉन्सोनेंट साउंड्स है म, न और न और ग का जो किंग में जैसे होता है, राइट? दैट काइंड ऑफ, अगेन वी हैव सम consonant sounds, which are produced by some kind of release of friction. A noise is created by the airstream that is escaping through a variant of narrow gaps of the mouth. For example, the sounds like f, w, th. So, again, this is just an expansion on the consonant sounds, which is going to be taken up in the subsequent session. So I am not going to spend much time on this, whether it is affricate, nasals, or okay. So whenever you are trying to understand the consonant sounds, you have to see what is the kind of airstream set in motion by the lungs or by some other means. Is it pulmonic or is it non-pulmonic? Is the airstream being forced outwards or is it being taken inwards? Is it aggressive or is it ingressive? Are the vocal cords vibrating or not? Therefore, is the sound voiced or voiceless? Again, you have to be careful about the palate, soft palate, whether it is the airstream is touching through the mouth, the raised portion, lowered portion. Is the sound being produced in the oral, nasal, or the nasalized cavity? So these are certain things that you have to keep in mind. And mind you, what are these? These are actually whatever we talked about, whether the vibration is being produced, is it voiced or voiceless, what is the place of articulation, and what is the manner of articulation. So, while describing all these speech sounds, vocal cords, airstream, again, are the certain things, whether this airstream is passing without some obstruction or with some obstruction, are the things that you have to keep in mind, right? So, these are the three things you have to be careful about, whether it is voicing, place of articulation, manner of articulation. And if you go by this criteria, your pronunciation will also be correct, and you will also be able to you will never be confused. You will always remember that, okay, this sound per, in case it is asked what kind, label the consonant, right? Your lips are involved. So, what is the term given for the sound that is produced with the help of lips, right? So, we are going to talk about all this in tomorrow's session. But that's all for today that I have. I hope you have been able to follow the classification of the speech sounds, and you have been able to register it, and will be quite comfortable when you have to attempt your question paper. And for those who have joined for the sake of learning, we are grateful to them. That I hope this was beneficial for all of them. Ma'am is going to join in some while. Meanwhile, if you have any question or query, Mojit, you can just share the feedback form. A feedback form is going to be shared right now. You will get a feedback form every second day, right? Okay, Monjit has shared the form. We will have Dr. Hira at 2:30 p.m. We have 3 minutes to go. Okay, is there anyone who did not register for? I will, Rupinder, I will put up the PPT in my LMS. The PPT yesterday also I have already uploaded, and Dr. Hero also sent me last night. I will be uploading that also. So today also she has one video. Okay. So no worries. You will get the PPT. PPT will be available in the LMS, right? There's someone, Gurpinder Barar, who has not registered but is attending the session. Just in case you had not filled the form, please form जो है वो fill कर लेना if you are a JGND PSOU student. And yes, as told earlier, that the session is entirely for your benefit. Please attend all the sessions. Registered name or number? Gurpinder is writing. What is your name? Gurpinder, with what name did you register? So ma'am will join in a minute or so. And she has a video, I think, which I have to share again. I'm just muting myself. Very good afternoon, Dr. Hira. Welcome to Jagat Guru Nanak Dev Punjab State Open University. So the platform is all yours. We had a brief stint with the classification of the speech sounds, which you are going to expand upon. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Ma'am, you're not audible. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. Right. Am I audible right now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So let me share.
Yeah, meanwhile, as ma'am is trying to share the PPT, I'm just requesting you all to switch on your videos so that we can have a click with ma'am as well. Monjit, you can just share your yesterday's social media links in the chat box. Ma'am, we can see the PPT. The PPT is visible.
Okay. Is it all right?
Yes, very much.
All right. So can we start? We're done with the photograph?
Yes. Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So good afternoon once again. Yesterday we had a session on phonetics. I mean, that was just an introduction to phonetics, a theoretical, introduction to phonetics, so that we set the base for the coming days. Okay. So today we're going a one step forward, that is understanding International Phonetic Alphabet. Okay. I think yesterday you had a session with Navleen ma'am regarding the organs of speech, and today you had a session with the classification of speech sounds, I guess. Okay. So that will be an extension. What I'm going to do will be an extension to what you have done already. Okay. So revising what we did yesterday, I would like to, ask you, can anyone tell me just very quickly, we will revise, what is phonetics? Just one word or one sentence, answers.
Ma'am, speech sounds.
Speech sounds, okay. Anything else? A detailed definition?
Phonetics is a subfield of linguistics.
Yes, okay. Subfield of linguistics, speech sounds. 3 words more I'm looking for. So what exactly we do with the speech sounds in phonetics?
Production, transmission, and reception.
Very good. Very good. So phonetics, let me collect everything that you just said. Phonetics is a scientific study, is a sub branch of linguistics, which examines the production, transmission, and reception of speech sounds. Very good. So we discussed 3 branches of phonetics. Can you tell me what were the 3 branches?
Auditory, acoustic, and articulatory.
Yes. Good job. So articulatory meant, can anyone tell me just one word? Articulatory means?
Ma'am, production of sound.
Production.
Very good. Articulatory meant production of sounds. Acoustic meant?
Transmission of sound.
Very good. Transmission of sounds. And auditory meant?
Listening.
Reception.
Or
Very
reception
good,
of sound.
Good. So these 3 branches were articulatory means production, acoustic means the transmission, and auditory means the reception. Okay. And other than that, we discussed the significance of phonetics, it is used in speech therapies, it is used for linguistic research, it is used in classrooms, it is used to better up your communication skills. It gives you confidence, it helps us to understand the cultural nuances of different cities and countries. Okay, so this is all what we discussed, and also we discussed how to teach phonetics in a beginner classroom. Okay, so now moving on, it is day 2, which is understanding IPA, or International Phonetic Alphabet. So IPA stands for the International Phonetic Alphabet. It is a system of symbols used to represent the exact sounds of spoken language, not the spelling. तो आईपी क्या है? इट इज अ सिस्टम. ये इट इज डेवलप्ड बाय इंटरनेशनल फोनेटिक एसोसिएशन, राइट? उस एसोसिएशन ने क्या किया? दे ट्राइड टू कंस्ट्रक्ट अ चार्ट, ठीक है, अ सिस्टम जिसमें हर एक स्पीच साउंड वुड विल बी डिपिक्टेड बाय वन सिंबल. ओके, अब इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में हमने देखा है कि हमारे जो इंग्लिश अल्फाबेट है उसके अंदर जो लेटर्स हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल सी है, राइट? सो सी का कितने साउंड्स आ सकते हैं? कैन यू टेल मी सी के कितने साउंड्स निकलते हैं? कैन यू टेल मी सम वर्ड्स स्टार्टिंग विद द लेटर सी?
मैम कार, चेयर.
Yes, so car is k sound, chair is ch sound, right? Charity is ch sound, cell, C for cell, is s sound. तो अब जो the linguists and the very English language teachers, what they felt was that a particular letter can produce 3 or 4 sounds at a moment, right? So it was of course confusing for them to teach and for students to learn these symbols and the correct pronunciation. So what they did was they constructed a system which represented exact sounds of spoken language, not the spelling. As I'm again saying, it is focusing on the sounds. Ye phonetics jo hai, it is just focused on the sounds, not the spellings. Spellings will be dealt by morphology. Okay, so this is sounds of spoken language. Now, what are the key facts about IPA? It is created by International Phonetic Association in the 19th century. Like I just discussed, किसने बनाया है? It is by International Phonetic Association. Each symbol represents one specific sound. So like I just gave you an example कि C के इतने सारे sounds निकल रहे थे, तो what they did was they constructed each sound को लेके they constructed a different symbol for each sound. ठीक है, अब मुझे कंफ्यूजन नहीं होगी कि स से च निकल रहा है या स से स ही निकल रहा है या स से क निकल रहा है, राइट? सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ IPA, इंटरनेशनल फोनेटिक अल्फाबेट चार्ट, आई कैन इजीली मेक आउट कि अब मुझे इस वर्ड में, पर्टिकुलर वर्ड में कौन सा साउंड प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है. Okay, it is used to transcribe speech sounds from any language in the world. ट्रांसक्राइब क्या होता है, या ट्रांसक्रिप्शन, विच वी आर गोइंग टू डू, फोनेटिक ट्रांसक्रिप्शन हम लोग करेंगे. सो ट्रांसक्राइबिंग इज कोई वर्ड है उसको सिंबल्स की फॉर्म में लिखना, that is transcribing. Okay, so IPA का क्या यूज है? It is used to transcribe speech sounds from all the languages in the world. हर लैंग्वेज में जितने भी साउंड्स हैं उनको IPA ने अपने अंदर समा लिया है. Okay, it helps with pronunciation, especially in language learning, linguistics and speech therapy. तो ये कहाँ पे काम आता है? It is helpful in pronunciation, correct pronunciation. It is helpful in language learning, obviously, linguistics की research में, and of course speech therapy. Okay, moving on. It was developed in 1888 by the International Phonetic Association. It was created by a group of French and British language teachers and linguists, including Paul Passé, who aimed to improve the teaching of pronunciation. Like I said, that there was so much of confusion with the symbols, with the letters and their sounds, that they had to do something to improve the teaching of pronunciation or to improve the teaching of any language. So their goal in constructing IPA was कि एक standardized, एक universal system बनाया जाए जिसमें हर तरह का sound आएगा. Okay, standardized and universal system मतलब, can anyone discuss or can anyone explain what do we mean by standardized or universal system?
मैम जो हर जगह पे एप्लीकेबल हो, यूनिवर्सल.
Very good, very good. So standardized मतलब ये नहीं कि इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज जो पढ़ रहे हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल ब्रिटिश जो है वो आईपीए देख रहे हैं, फिर जो अफ्रीकन है वो कोई अफ्रीकन फोनेटिक चार्ट देख रहे हैं, या जो चाइनीज लोग हैं वो कोई चाइनीज फोनेटिक चार्ट देख रहे हैं. नो, वी डोंट नीड दैट. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड इंटरनेशनल फोनेटिक अल्फाबेट, राइट. तो इसीलिए कि एक स्टैंडर्डाइज और एक यूनिवर्सल सिस्टम हो, ताकि मैं अगर एक इंडियन हूँ और मेरी आई get transferred for my job in China, so obviously I can refer to my international phonetic alphabet. I can look for sounds, I can look for stress kahan pe aa raha hai, tone kaisi hai, and all that all is included in the IPA system. That is why it is called it is called an universal system or a standardized system. एक सेट स्टैंडर्ड है, इसके अलावा आपको इधर उधर नहीं देखना है, राइट. जनरलाइज्ड नहीं है, इट इज स्टैंडर्ड. Okay, it is influenced by earlier phonetic scripts and attempts like those of Henry Sweet and Alexander Melville Bell, but IPA was the first widely adopted system. अब एक दिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि suddenly किसी ने IPA बना दिया. Of course not. It is related to language, and language is ever evolving. As you can see, many words from Hindi language are included in dictionaries, in English language dictionaries. Right, so that is evolving of language is ever evolving. हर वक्त language का evolve होता है, कहीं ना कहीं पे कुछ ना कुछ मिलता रहता है, right. So of course the IPA is not just made in a day, right. It is an ever evolving process. और ये इससे पहले भी लोगों ने काम किया है इसके ऊपर. For example, somebody just made a phonetic script, right. Somebody tried to include symbols, somebody tried to include their own symbols, फिर दूसरी languages से, neighboring countries की languages से उठा के कर लिया, right. But after all this in 19th century, they developed IPA, of course influenced and took help from all the earlier phonetic scripts done by the linguists, right. And it was finally adopted as the international universal system for the phonetic alphabet. Okay, moving on. Like I just discussed the evolution of IPA chart. अब IPA आप कह रहे हो कि इंटरनेशनल फोनेटिक अल्फाबेट में बोलती रह रही हूँ कि क्या है, बट व्हाट इज इट? इट इज एक्चुअली अ चार्ट, okay, which I'm going to show, of course. The original IPA chart has undergone many revisions to include sounds from more world languages. Like I just said, कि ये नहीं है कि सिर्फ एक country की language का वो IPA chart है. No, it includes all the symbols of different languages of the world, and that is why it is ever evolving. अभी भी शायद evolve हो रहा होगा at this moment when we are talking. Okay, so major updates occurred in 1900s, right? It added symbols for African, Asian, and indigenous languages, modern layout and standardization. Then there were refinements and symbol changes. Over the time, the chart has been expanded to include a finally, at this moment, IPA में after all these evolvements, after all these developments, क्या है? 3 चीजें हैं: consonants and vowel sounds, suprasegmentals, and diacritics. राइट, कॉन्सोनेंट एंड वावल साउंड्स हम लोग बहुत डिटेल में करने वाले हैं, आई थिंक टुमारो एंड डे आफ्टर, राइट. सो कॉन्सोनेंट साउंड्स आर प, ब, ड. वावल साउंड्स आर आ, ए, ई, उ, ओ, राइट. तो इन सब के बारे में उसमें आईपीए चार्ट में दिया गया है. सेकंड इज द सुप्रा सेगमेंटल. सुप्रा सेगमेंटल्स वो फीचर्स होती हैं किसी भी स्पीच साउंड की, विच टेल देयर स्ट्रेस, द टोन, द इंटोनेशन. स्ट्रेस कहाँ पे आ रहा है? इफ आई एम सेइंग अडेप्ट, राइट, तो मुझे स्ट्रेस कहाँ पे लगाना है? स्ट्रेस इज अ लिटिल स्मॉल स्लैश की तरह होता है जो एक साउंड के ऊपर आता है, जहाँ पे हम सबसे ज्यादा स्ट्रेस कर रहे होते हैं, राइट. बनाना, बनाना, पोटैटो, टमेटो, राइट. तो इसमें हर वर्ड में स्ट्रेस, वी मार्क इट, जहाँ पे हम लोग सबसे ज्यादा स्ट्रेस दे रहे हैं एक पर्टिकुलर वर्ड में व्हेन वी आर स्पीकिंग इट. ओके, तो ये सारी चीजें किस में आती हैं? सुप्रा सेगमेंटल्स में. दिस इज ऑल्सो इंक्लूडेड इन आईपीए चार्ट. स्ट्रेस, टोन, इंटोनेशन, ये अभी मैं डिस्कस भी करने वाली हूँ इन डिटेल, सो आई एम नॉट फोकसिंग ऑन इट मच हियर. देन इज डायाक्रिटिक्स. इट इज फॉर फाइन ट्यूनिंग प्रोनाउंसिएशन. डायाक्रिटिक और क्या हेल्प करता है? और आपकी प्रोनाउंसिएशन को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए इट हेल्प्स, डायाक्रिटिक्स. ठीक है, अभी और डिटेल में डिस्कस करते हैं. So as you can see, yes, this is the IPA chart. You all can see, right? These are the consonants. bilabial, plosive, nasal, trill, ये हम लोग सब discuss करेंगे the features of the consonants. Then you have non-pulmonic consonants, then vowel sounds, then other symbols, then diacritics on your left, and then on your right you have suprasegmentals, and then little at the end is tones and word accent level and contour. Right? So this is exactly the IPA chart at present, which contains consonants, vowels, suprasegmentals, and diacritics. Okay. Now, what is the modern use of IPA? IPA कहाँ पे use होता है? In today's world, of course, कि language learn करने में तो है ही है. As you can see, key fields where IPA is used today is linguistics, phonetic and phonological analysis, comparative linguistics and documenting endangered languages. तो सबसे पहला फील्ड जहाँ पे IPA यूज हो रहा है that is obviously linguistics. Linguistics क्या है? What is linguistics? Linguistics is the study of language. ठीक है, तो अब linguistics के भी आगे चीजें हैं, that is phonetic and phonological analysis. Again हम अभी phonetics पढ़ रहे हैं तो obviously उसमें IPA तो आएगा ही आएगा. Second is the comparative linguistics. Can you understand what is comparative linguistics from the word comparative itself? Can you guess? Anyone? I'm audible, right? I am audible, right?
Ma'am, is it
Yes,
ma'am.
yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
you're very.
yes
Ma'am,
conventional?
Okay, I thought nobody's answering. Am I
Oh,
audible?
it's
or
only
not?
that they're taking some time to
Okay, then that's fine.
their thoughts, gather their thoughts.
All right, good. Then that's fine. Yes, it's visible,
Someone was
right?
Someone was responding to this comparative linguistics.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Is
it's
this
the difference between languages of different regions.
okay? Good. अच्छा, is this view better या वो पहले वाला view is better? I mean, you can read, right? Whatever is written here. This is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So comparative linguistics is, obviously comes from the word compare. ठीक है ना? तो compare. So IPA can be used to compare two different languages, right? For example, we try to gather or pick words from different languages in English language, right? For example, resume. Resume कहाँ से आया है? Resume नहीं होता है. It is not resume, it's resume. Resume is another word. Resume is your biodata, right? So resume comes from French language, for example, right? There are many words picked up from Urdu language for that matter. There are many words picked up from Hindi language in English language, right? So ये सारी comparisons करने के लिए we use IPA. So it is comparative linguistics, the study of language in which we compare two or three whatever languages, right? To take out the contrast and the differences between them. Next is documenting endangered languages. Now, what are endangered languages? Endangered species आपने सुना होगा, endangered species, right? Endangered languages are those which are on the verge of just ending, right? On the verge of मतलब कि जो उनके speakers हैं hardly बहुत कम लोग रह गए हैं, right? उस particular language के for example, and after that generation nobody is going to speak that language. तो वो language होती है endangered language. So IPA किस काम की आ सकता है, किस काम? Many linguists are working on this particular thing, that is they are documenting these languages which are on the verge of just getting extinct. ठीक है, जो लैंग्वेजेस बिल्कुल खत्म होने वाली हैं उनको डॉक्यूमेंट करने के लिए लिंग्विस्ट दे मेक यूज ऑफ IPA, so that after so many years if I want to learn about that particular language I can do that. Okay, now next is language education. Like, of course, I said it helps students pronounce foreign sounds accurately, seen in dictionaries, ESL materials, and language apps. Obviously, language education में IPA plays an important role. As you can see that IPA में क्या है, the whole chart is there, right? How do you speak it? Plosive है, bilabial है, dental है, nasal है, वो सारे sounds के बारे में information है, right? So of course it helps students pronounce foreign sounds accurately. For us, of course, English is a foreign language, right? तो वो sounds अगर हमें पता है, bilabial का क्या मतलब है, plosive का क्या मतलब है, labiodental का क्या मतलब है, अगर मुझे वो पता है, I'll be able to understand the sound, easily. Next is, of course, it is seen in dictionaries. Like I said, dictionaries में phonetic transcription दी जाती है along with the word, right? We were discussing yesterday that dictionaries are important for English language teaching, right? तो obviously dictionaries में इसका जिक्र है, ESL materials, English as a second language materials, मतलब जो बुक्स या जो भी एक्सरसाइजेज या जो भी डिक्शनरीज जो भी मटेरियल हम यूज करते हैं टू टीच इंग्लिश एज अ सेकंड लैंग्वेज, दैट इज कॉल्ड ESL मटेरियल. एंड लैंग्वेज एप्स, ऑफ कोर्स बहुत सारी लैंग्वेज एप्स आ गई हैं, डुओलिंगो है, टू टीच और टू लर्न लैंग्वेजेस सिटिंग एट होम. ओके, तो वहाँ पे भी फोनेटिक्स का यूज होता है. Next is speech pathology. Speech pathology, like we were discussing yesterday, yes, phonetics and IPA they overlap. तो आप ये मत सोचो it's almost a repetition. Yes, they overlap, right? So it is used by speech language pathologists to assess and treat speech disorders, transcribe errors and progress, substituting word for word, right? So it's a very common speech disorder जहाँ पे हम word sound को we tend to
Today,
replace it by
I'd like to
word sound. आपने भी सुना होगा, कई लोगों को अभी तक ये even when they grow up they have this problem. Okay, so of course this is used in speech pathology as well. Moving on. Artificial intelligence and speech technology. So हम लोगों को सबको पता है Siri के बारे में, Alexa, Google Assistant, इन सब के बारे में हमें सबको पता है, right? Text to speech and speech recognition systems use phonetic transcription to model human speech. So what happens is, we all know, right? हमारी लाइफ में Alexa या Google Assistant या Siri या इनफैक्ट जो अगर हमारे घर में जिनके घर में स्मार्ट टीवी है, देर उसमें रिमोट में you just press it and then you speak it. राइट, तो वो सब चीजें कहाँ से आ रही हैं? वो आपका बोलना और वो उसका सुनना एंड देन टाइपिंग इट एंड देन प्लेइंग व्हाटएवर सॉन्ग यू वांटेड टू. व्हाट इज दिस? ऑफ कोर्स दिस इज AI, बट इट इज आल्सो स्पीच टेक्नोलॉजी. दे मेक यूज ऑफ फोनेटिक सिंबल्स जो उनके सॉफ्टवेयर में डाला गया है, एंड दैट इज हाउ दे आर listening to you and replying to you in the same language, right? Today IPA isn't just academic, like I said yesterday, कि अभी सिर्फ टीचर्स का काम पढ़ाना नहीं रह गया. In the same way, IPA is not just academic. सिर्फ पढ़ाई लिखाई में काम नहीं आ रहा IPA या phonetics या English language for that matter. It's everywhere, from language apps to AI assistants and from classrooms to clinics, in the hospitals, like we were discussing yesterday कि PGI में खुद का एक department है, right, for the speech therapy. It helps machines and people alike to understand and produce human speech accurately. तो दोनों को, machines को भी, AI, right, और humans को भी IPA is helping a lot to understand a language, right? To understand languages, to produce human speech sounds accurately and perfectly. Okay, moving on. Now, like we discussed, the consonants, the components of IPA. Like we were discussing in I think third or fourth slide, कि जो IPA के अंदर क्या क्या होता है. If you could remember the chart: consonants, vowels, diacritics, and suprasegmentals. Let me go back again to the chart. You can see the chart, right? Consonants, vowels, other symbols, diacritics, suprasegmentals, tones, right? तो ये सब किसमें आता है? These are the components of IPA. जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे, बट उससे पहले whatever I have discussed, let's watch this video.
Today, I'd like to introduce you to a very special friend in the Teach Wonderful classroom. This is our class pet. His name is, well, maybe I'll show you how it's spelled. It's G-H-O-T-I. How would you pronounce it? Have a moment to think about it and get back to me. So, how did you go? I'm betting you tried goatee, or gohoti, maybe gooty? You might be surprised to learn that our class pet's name, G-H-O-T-I, is actually pronounced fish. That's right, our class Fish is named Fish. Very original. But how on earth does G-H-O-T-I spell fish? Well, let me explain. Think about these three words: tough, women, and potion. Notice how the letters GH in tough actually sound like an F, tough. Also notice how the O in women actually sounds more like an E. Starting to see it? Lastly, the TI from potion actually makes a sh sound, similar to words like motion and lotion. Therefore, G-H-O-T-I spells fish. Well, not really. This little spelling trick is just a bit of fun, but it only works because many of the sounds we use in English have lots of different ways of spelling them. As an example, the consonant sound K has at least 5 different spelling choices: C, K, Q, CK, and CH. That's a lot of choices for one sound. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a special alphabet you might have seen if you've looked up a word in the dictionary or online. It's called the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA, and it's been around since 1886. These are the symbols for the consonant sounds, some of which we use in our regular alphabet. And these are the symbols for the vowel sounds. Below each symbol is an example of that sound being used in a word. Interestingly, our G-H-O-T-I spelling trick would not work using this alphabet because each of the sounds has only one possible symbol. That's right, one sound, one symbol. Today,
That's it. Okay, so what was the use of this video? This is a kind of, a summary of what I have just discussed. IPA just means that one symbol for one sound. Like I discussed, for the letter C, it has ch sound as in charity or as in chair. Then it has s sound as in cell, right? And it has k sound as in cat, right? But IPA gives us this, provides us with a chart, which provides us with symbols, different symbols for these three sounds, so that we as learners of English language do not get confused. Otherwise, we would have obviously guessed the koti as the name of the fish, right? Which is of course not true. Right? So that teacher, the cartoon teacher, was trying to tell you that, हम लोग अपना दिमाग लगा के जितना भी दिमाग लगा सकते थे, we could have said that GH, of course, as in tough fur sound, that is fish, right? And fur sound in the fish, and then E sound, women. It's not women, it's a women. Then we will take out the E sound, and then portion, sh sound, TI, of course, it will be fish. But that's not how it is. That was just the fun way, as he said. So IPA is a very serious, help for us as English language learners or any other language learner, so that we get an idea how to, use different symbols for different speech sounds in different languages. That is IPA. I think this video was, could explain it to you what is the importance of IPA in our lives as language learners. Okay, so moving on, let me share the PPT again.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So moving on, as I've discussed that we will be discussing the components of IPA in detail. Again, I'm not discussing consonant and vowels, which are very, very, very important parts of IPA and our workshop, because I'm going to have one day each for consonants and vowel sounds. Okay, so just ignore if I am just, since I'm just saying it for the sake of making you understand the components of IPA. So there's just one slide for consonants. So what are consonants? Consonants, as you know, p, b, t, k, g sounds in the English language. Consonants can be of two types, pulmonic and non-pulmonic. Pulmonic means sounds produced with airflow from the lungs. ये वो sounds हैं जहाँ पे हम अपनी lungs का इस्तेमाल करते हैं to speak these sounds. And non-pulmonic sounds are those which are produced without the use of lungs, such as clicks, implosives, and ejectives. Right? So all these sounds are non-pulmonic sounds. Okay? But in English language, we only have pulmonic sounds. That is why while you were discussing speech organs with ma'am, she would have, introduced lungs as the speech organ, one of the speech organs, right? So English language does not use non-pulmonic consonants in its phonology. However, other languages of the world might use non-pulmonic sounds. Okay, so English language में सिर्फ pulmonic sounds होते हैं. Pulmonic sounds are those sounds जहाँ पे जो air flow है वो lungs से आता है, from the lungs, right? So we make use of lungs in the pronunciation of consonant sounds, which are called pulmonic consonants. Next is vowel sounds. Vowel sounds are of two types, monophthongs and diphthongs. Mono comes from, can you anyone tell me the meaning of mono and di?
Mono means
one,
one,
ma'am,
one.
and di means two.
Yes, mono means one and di means two. So since vowels are of two types, monophthongs and diphthongs. Monophthongs मतलब single, pure vowel sound. एक ही vowel sound आएगा. E, e, a, o, u, right? U, it can be longer. But diphthongs are those sounds which are produced by mixing of two vowel sounds. ठीक है, डाई मतलब दो and mono means one. Mono means single, only one vowel sound. And diphthongs मतलब two vowel sounds जो दो vowel sounds को connect करके एक sound बनता है, as in I, ow, u, right? Play, a sound, say, right? So these are diphthongs. Again, we will discuss them from tomorrow, I think tomorrow onwards, consonants and vowels in detail. Next, third is the diacritics. Now, what is diacritics? Like we just discussed, diacritics helps us in understanding in the IPA chart whether the sounds produced are voicing. Voicing means क्या वो voiced है या voiceless है. Again, this concept will be explained to you. Voicing and voiced मतलब vocal cords vibrate कर रही हैं या नहीं कर रही हैं when we are speaking the particular sounds. So this all comes under diacritics. Next is nasalization. Indicates nasalization of sounds. Nasalization मतलब जो हमारे नाक से sound निकलता है. Ma, ang, sing, right? Sing, ping. These are nasal sounds. Then aspiration indicates aspiration, a breathy burst of air following consonants. Pa, ta, top, hot, pat, power, right? These are the aspirated per and ter sounds. So diacritics also looks at the aspiration of the sounds, and length indicates the length of a sound, which is described by the colon sounds. जब आप vowel sounds करेंगे हम लोग, एक तो sound होता है e, for example pit. The next is beat, e sound. आई के साथ फिर दो कोलोन, जो हम जिसको कोलोन नॉर्मली बोलते हैं, टू डॉट्स को, वो लग जाता है. इट शोज द लेंथ ऑफ द साउंड. तो उसका मतलब साउंड थोड़ा लंबा बोला जाएगा, राइट? सो डायाक्रिटिक्स इन द आईपीए चार्ट इज वॉइसिंग, nasalization, aspiration, and the length. Okay. Next is the suprasegmentals. Now, what are suprasegmentals? Like we were discussing, suprasegmentals वो features होती हैं sounds की, which tells about the stress, the intonation, and the tone. Now, stress, it indicates emphasis on a syllable. What is syllable? We would discuss it in the later lectures. Syllable, one syllable, two syllables, right? तो हर एक syllable, okay, मैं थोड़ा शॉर्ट में बताती हूँ. सिलेबल्स क्या होते हैं? एक वर्ड में इट कैन हैव आइदर 1 syllable or 2 syllable, 3, 4, depending on the number of vowel sounds. For example, cat, इसमें कितने vowel sounds हैं?
1, ma'am.
1.
1. A sound, cat, right? So that means it is once, it has 1 syllable. On the other hand, if I say handful, how many words are how many vowel sounds are there?
2.
2, right? So it has 2 syllables. जितने एक word में vowel sounds होंगे उतने ही उसमें syllables होंगे. Do not look for a and u, look for a and u, right? आपको शायद वो दिखने में ना लगे कि उसमें लेटर तो सिर्फ ए ई आई ओ यू हमने 5 vowel sounds पढ़े हुए हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. Like now we are doing phonetics, you have to look for sounds, not the spellings, like we just discussed in the beginning, that IP is all about speech sounds, not the spellings. Okay, it indicates emphasis on a syllable. For example, cat, stress on the first syllable. Cat, क के ऊपर आपका जो स्ट्रेस आता है, right? Adopt, banana. Can you tell me banana? Like I'm speaking, for example, banana. Where is the stress? Banana.
Ma'am, no
N
sound.
and it's
वेरी
N.
गुड, न साउंड. तो जब आप बोलते हैं आपको बोल के ही पता चल जाएगा कि एम्फेसाइज कहाँ पे आ रहा है, वहां पे हम अपना स्ट्रेस मार्क कर देते हैं व्हेन वी आर लुकिंग एट द फोनेटिक ट्रांसक्रिप्शन ऑफ द वर्ड्स. सो कैन यू सी द स्ट्रेस कैसे मार्क किया हुआ है? के ऊपर जो एक हल्का सा छोटा सा स्लैश है, दैट इज हाउ यू मार्क द स्ट्रेस ऑन द वर्ड्स. ठीक है ना. सेकेंड इज इंटोनेशन. What is intonation? It is the pitch contour across speech. ठीक है, कभी हम लोग बोलते हुए राइजिंग टोन लेते हैं, कभी हम लोग फॉलिंग टोन लेते हैं, जिससे कि हम उसका मीनिंग समझते हैं, उसकी कंटेक्स्ट समझते हैं, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, the intonation is of 2 types, rising tone or falling tone, right? Rising pitch pattern or the falling pitch pattern. For example, statements, commands, WH questions, exclamations, etc. as the voice lowers at the end. This is the example of falling pitch. यहाँ पे falling pitch use होती है. Can you give me example of any statement? And try to speak it, with the proper pitch and with proper intonation. I get up early in the morning. This is a statement, normal general statement. The sun rises in the east. तो क्या हो रहा है? The sun rises in the east. ईस्ट तक आके मेरी वॉइस क्या हो रही है? लोअर हो रही है, मेरी पिच लोअर हो रही है. तो नॉर्मली फॉलिंग पिच कहाँ पे यूज होती है? स्टेटमेंट्स में. नंबर 2 इज कमांड्स में. प्लीज क्लोज द डोर. कमांड, जब हम कोई कमांड देते हैं, ओपन द डोर, राइट? WH questions. What are you doing? Okay, exclamations. Oh my God. Bravo, you did it, right? So these are exclamation. यहाँ पे अगर आपको ये याद रखना हो कि rising tone और falling tone कहाँ पे use होता है, तो falling tone is used in statements, general statements, commands, WH questions. WH questions are those sentences which start with the W, what, why, where, right? ये सारे WH questions होते हैं. And exclamatory sentences as the voice lowers at the end. Second is yes or no questions. Tag questions showing hesitation starting with maybe as voices rise in the end. So second example is of the rising tone, rising pitch pattern. जैसे कि yes no questions. For example, if I ask you a question, do you understand? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So मेरी tone या मेरी जो pitch है वो ऊपर जा रही है, right? So that is a yes no question. Okay, तो वहां पे कौन सा टोन यूज हो रहा है? दैट इज द राइजिंग टोन. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज द टैग क्वेश्चंस. व्हाट आर टैग क्वेश्चंस? Anyone? What are tag questions? This is a very important part of grammar when we teach grammar.
For example, we use tags at the end of the question. For example, we say, you completed your class and successfully. Have you?
Yes, very good. You've completed your class successfully. Have you? Question mark. Have you? right? So that is a tag question, right? It's too hard, isn't it? Isn't it? So that is the example of rising tone. Showing hesitation starting with maybe. Maybe we can go to the market. It is a kind of question, but it is starting with maybe because it is showing a certain hesitation towards the listener. कि पता नहीं मानेगा या नहीं मानेगा. Maybe we can party today, right? So that means the voice is rising at the end. So you can keep these things in your mind. Just make a chart कि rising tone और falling tone कहाँ पे use होती है. Rising tone is used in yes no questions जिनका आंसर yes या no में दिया जाता है. Tag questions are for example, like we just discussed 2 examples. It's so hot today, isn't it? Then third is showing hesitation starting with maybe as voices rises in the end, right? And then falling tone की examples क्या होंगी? Statements, commands, WH questions, exclamations, because the voice is lowering at the end, right? So this is all a part of IPA. So IPA is a very comprehensive system of sounds. ये सिर्फ आपको ये नहीं बताता कि च को इस तरीके से लिखना है या ज को इस तरीके से लिखना है. It tells you फिर इनको बोलना कैसे है, manner of articulation, place कहाँ से बोलना है, place of articulation, कैसे बोलना है, कहाँ पे ऊंचा बोलना है, कहाँ पे नीचे बोलना है, right? So all this is included in IPA chart. So it's not an easy task to construct and then remember IPA chart. Okay. Next is the tone, pitch used to distinguish word meanings.
मैम
Yes.
मैम सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू, बट जैसे है ना, जैसे आपने बोला पहले वाले में वॉइस एंड पे जाके लोअर होएगी, मतलब स्टार्टिंग में राइजिंग रहेगी
या नॉर्मल रहेगी. राइजिंग तो नहीं रहेगी. आई थिंक इट विल बी सिंपल प्लेन ऑन द बेस.
बैलेंस ही रहेगी, है ना?
बैलेंस ही रहेगी. यस यस. राइज या तो वो एंड पे जाके होगी, फॉल भी एंड पे जाके ही होगी. ओके.
ओके.
सो टोन. यस.
Ma'am, for example, if we use gerunds in the starting of the sentence, for example, we say swimming is a good exercise. So, ma'am, how would be the pronunciation, high pitch or low pitch?
Swimming is a good exercise. Can you tell me, is it a statement? Is it a command?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
it's a statement.
तो फिर ये कहाँ पे आएगा?
No, I'm asking because swimming is a gerund, na?
Gerund and other forms of whatever, it is a verb, it is a gerund, but मैं बात यहाँ पे सिर्फ कर रही हूँ कि rising और falling tone की, right? So swimming is a what was the sentence? Swimming is a good exercise. Swimming is a good exercise. Swimming is a good exercise. तो इसमें क्या हो रहा है? Voice is lowering at the end. We do not have to bother about के वहाँ पे पहले कोई द से start हो रहा है या gerund से start हो रहा है या noun से या verb से या gerund से, whatever it is. I just have to look for statements, commands, WH questions, exclamations on one side, and yes no questions, tag questions, showing hesitation starting with maybe, and on the other side.
Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
All right. Third is the tone. Now tone, first of all, let me be very clear. There are certain tonal languages, but English is not one of them. So abhi tone ka, it's not much used to you since we are just looking at the English language ka phonetics, right? So pitch used to distinguish word meaning, especially in tonal languages. तो क्या है, when I was preparing this PPT, I was trying to look for examples for this particular point, tone. तो since English is not a tonal language वो languages होती हैं जिसमें जो sounds हैं वो अलग टोन से अगर बोले जाएं, जहाँ पे हाई पिच होगी या अलग टोन में बोले जाएं, वहां पे उनका मीनिंग भी चेंज हो जाता है. Like I was looking at the Chinese language, right? If I can remember that properly, तो वहां पे क्या मुझे वो examples दे रहे थे. ना is no, ना अगर किसी और तरीके से बोला जाए it means mother, right? So that is the suprasegmental tone, right? तो tonal languages में use होता है and English is not a tonal language. जहाँ पे tone आपके word का meaning ही बदल देती है in different contexts या in same context, but the tone is different, right? So do not get confused between intonation and tone. All right? Moving on. The limitations of IPA, जहाँ पे इसके इतने फायदे हैं, obviously there are limitations. For example, the number one is complexity, steep learning curve. जब आप IPA पढ़ना शुरू करते हैं या जब आप फोनेटिक्स आपकी लाइफ में आता है, यू हैव टू लुक एट IPA चार्ट जो मैंने आपको दिखाया अभी. एंड सिंस अब तो हमारे पास बहुत इजी वर्जन्स भी अवेलेबल है, विच ऑफ कोर्स आई एम गोइंग टू यूज the easier versions in my PPT for tomorrow and day after, right? But जो actual IPA chart है, it is very complex in nature, like you just said. The IPA comprises over 100 symbols, including consonants, vowels, diacritics, and suprasegmentals. This extensive system can be overwhelming for beginners, especially those without a background in linguistics. I'm pretty sure जब आपने अपनी किताबों को खोल के देखा होगा और IPA chart देखा होगा, you would get confused and scared भाई ये कैसे होगा, right? So yes, this is one of the limitations of IPA. Limitation मतलब नुकसान क्या है, right? What are the disadvantages of IPA? Yeah, where is the scope for improvement in IPA, right? But since it includes all the world languages, जितनी भी world में languages है वो सबको include करता है अपने अंदर, so it is very obvious that it has to be complex in nature, right? So it is very difficult for the beginners especially to understand these symbols and to remember all of it. Second is variability, dialectical and contextual differences. While the IPA aims to provide a standardized representation of speech sounds, it may not fully capture the nuances of dialectical variations and regional accents. Now I will take example of Punjabi language. अब हमारे पंजाब में आप एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ट्रैवल करते हैं, डायलेक्ट बिल्कुल चेंज हो जाता है based on the geography or based on the region, राइट? मांझा है, मतलब मालवा है, सबकी लैंग्वेज डिफरेंट है ना? तो अगर IPA पंजाबी लैंग्वेज के सिंबल्स अपने अंदर इंक्लूड कर रहा है, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली इट कैन नॉट लुक एट द डायलेक्टिकल न्यूएंसेस, जो डिफरेंसेस बेस्ड ऑन डायलेक्ट आते हैं किसी भी लैंग्वेज में, उनको भी इंक्लूड करना ये कहीं ना कहीं मुश्किल होता है फॉर IPA चार्ट, right? So while the IPA aims to provide a standardized representation, चाहे वो पूरी कोशिश करता है IPA चार्ट अपने अंदर एक standardized या universal sounds लेके आने की, but for example कल हम हरियाणवी और पंजाबी लैंग्वेज को भी डिस्कस कर रहे थे, ण साउंड, राइट? ऐसा ण है, राइट? वहां पे न साउंड है, वहां पे ण हो जाता है, right? So this all is the dialectical variations and regional accents जिसको include करना it becomes difficult for IPA. Pronunciation differences across dialects can lead to variations in the realization of phonemes, making it challenging to represent all spoken forms accurately. Of course, it is challenging, it is difficult for IPA to accurately represent each and every sound in each and every language, okay? And the last one is standardization, ongoing updates and revisions. The IPA is not a static system. Like I was saying, कि अभी हम लोग जब डिस्कस कर रहे हैं IPA के बारे में, maybe some evolvement is going on, in IPA. कि language is ever evolving, हर language ever evolving है, तो process हमेशा चलता ही रहता है. The process of including symbols in IPA is also ever evolving. Right? The IPA is not a static system. It has undergone several revisions to accommodate new linguistic findings and technological advancements. For instance, the Kiel Convention led to significant changes, including introduction of new symbols and retirement of obsolete ones. More recently, in 2005, a labiodental flap symbol was added. These ongoing updates aim to enhance the IPA's accuracy and applicability across languages. तो तीसरा नुकसान जो IPA का है वो क्या है कि ऑनगोइंग अपडेट्स और रिवीजन्स इतनी होती हैं कि अगर आप फॉर एग्जांपल 2000 वाला IPA चार्ट देख रहे हैं और 2005 वाला IPA चार्ट देख रहे हैं, and maybe after now 20 years 2025 तक obviously IPA चार्ट जो the detailed symbols, ठीक है, consonants और vowel sounds normally same रहेंगे, but जो sounds हैं जो depending on the language, depending on the development of language, sounds है वो labiodental हो गया, उसमें diacritics हैं जो उसके suprasegmentals हैं, उनकी different tones हैं वो over the time change हो रही हैं, नई चीजें नए sounds आ रहे हैं, उनको include करना will obviously take away the basic feature of IPA, which is the standardized version, which is the universal version. Right? So it is ongoing process, it is ongoing updates and revisions, जो एक नुकसान भी है for the beginners and the learners of the language. Okay, that's it for today. Any questions? So, okay, questions I'm going to take later on. first let me just discuss the summary once again. So today we discussed the International Phonetic Alphabet, its introduction, its full form, International Phonetic Alphabet. Basic इसका जो एक ही fact है, that is it represent exact sounds of spoken language, not the spelling. It does not focus on the spelling, right? किसने बनाया? It is by International Phonetic Association. Then we discussed the evolution of IPA chart. Then this is the IPA chart we looked at. This is very complex version. Do not get scared. मैं कल को बहुत easy वाला chart भी आपके सामने I'll present it. Okay. Then modern use of IPA. We did IPA कहाँ पे use हो रहा है आजकल? Right, then components of IPA, consonants, vowels, diacritics and suprasegmentals. Then consonants, pulmonic and non-pulmonic, vowels, monophthongs and diphthongs, then diacritics, voicing, nasalization, aspiration and length, suprasegmentals like stress, intonation and tone. Then we discuss the limitations of IPA. This is it for today. Let me just stop sharing.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. It was a wonderful presentation, and it was so interesting, engrossing. I hope the students have been able to follow whatever they have been introduced to the IPA. They have been told about the evolution, the usage, as well as the limitations. Now, that is how, if you get a question on IPA, you have to balance on all the sides. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Right. If at all any of you has some question in this regard, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, I'm also typing my email. I didn't get a single email yesterday. Please do email and send your queries. I have also shared my PPT.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing the PPT, ma'am. Today I'll upload in the LMS.
Yes.
The PPT that I shared yesterday is already in the LMS, and the one that I did today in the afternoon will also be available in the LMS, right? So please check your portal for the PPTs of the session.
All right. Can I leave the meeting?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you. Tomorrow we will meet with more practical aspects of phonetics now. Theoretical वाला part is almost over. Okay. तो कल से हम लोग थोड़ा practical aspect करेंगे.
Practice. Yes.
Yes.
The consonants and the vowels.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.